In front of me are two camera stabilization systems from Zhiyun. This is the Zhiyun Weebill S, and also this is the Zhiyun Weebill 2. This is more like a successor to this. They had the Weebill Lab before the Weebill S and the Weebill 2. And of course, there is a Weebill 3. All right, so to the story. I'm a bit sad. It's quite a very sad day. But due to how much value this Weebill S brought to content creators, filmmakers, this has served. This is more like put it to the extreme use and this would stand up to it. The advantages of the Weebill S for me was the fact that it had a removable battery of which you can purchase extra batteries such that you have that as a backup. If you run out of juice on this, you just take them out, pop them out, and put your reserved and continue your shoot. So which gives you an extended use in terms of your shooting time. Well, the successor to the Weebill S, the Weebill 2, has an internal battery. This had a runtime of about 6 to 8 hours on continuous use. And yes, it came in very sleek, very modern. It had a swivel screen and, like everything was just new, compared to, of course, you can see the upgrade from this to this. It came in a little bulky, I would say, but it still had that portable feeling. It still had that Weebill S-ish, if I would say that, S-ish feeling to the Weebill 2. So, due to the success of the Weebill S, there was a lot of acceptance to the Weebill 2, but we didn't know that it came with a caveat. So, a caveat I would say is that it had an inbuilt battery. And what this means is that you're limited to just the juice that is within the battery. And this wasn't a problem until you're out in a location filming and you're out of battery. And you're like, I can't continue. I have to charge. That was an inconvenience filmmakers, content creators had to deal with. And yeah, that was a setback. Yeah. Secondly, this is a unit. This is my unit. Is dead. Like, is not functioning. And I've had series of complaints from friends, from colleagues, that their Weebill just suddenly died down on them. And I was supposed to have more than one of this, on this edition of the show, just to buttress how much of a dead system this is. I'm sorry if this is talking down your product, but apologies. But there's just a whole lot of stories that I'm going to say based on this. All right, so this Weebill 2 died on me and I was very frustrated. I had to, in the city I stay, there is a popular electronics fixing market, sort of, or enclave that you find talented individuals that can fix anything electronics. And I had to take the Weebill there. But before then, I had to go on YouTube to download loads of videos from people who have similar situations or who were facing similar situations. And I had like 3 different videos of how they opened up the gimbal, access the battery, fix it. And yes, I just had those videos so that can be a lead to whoever I'm contacting for the fix. All right, so I took the gimbal there and we began trying to find different bolts on, just taking the nuts out just so that we can have access to the battery compartment, because my first assumption was that the battery is faulty. So this took us different, we had to explore different ways to access the entire system. It took us about 4 hours until we could gain access to the battery system. And finally, we got to the battery, took out the battery, went to find a replacement. I bought it and came back and fixed it. All right, moment of truth came to test it out and we tapped it on. Nothing came on. All right, so that was another sad part of the day. We tried every other thing and of course, it's they can't tamper into the technology or into the other part of the gimbal because that was way beyond their scope. So I had to request the guy to couple it back up, and I went home very sad. So I had to reach out to the guys at Zhiyun on the possible solutions or possible fix that they can render to me. And they requested I have to send this gimbal unit in for them to run all of that analysis and checks. But mind you, in all of this gimbal wasn't up to 2 months since I bought it. So in my suggestion was like, do I have a warranty? No, because the shelf life had, expired and all of that. So I had to couple the gimbal, send it via UPS to Zhiyun in China, and that alone took about a month. That's 4 weeks before it went from Nigeria to China, and they received it. And it took about maybe a week a week and some days before they were able to attend to my case, because obviously they have other cases around the world coming into them. So it took about a week and some days before they responded that they have found the problem, and they were willing to send me a quote stating the cost for my repair. That was about $147. As at then, the exchange rate, toppled everything to 236,000 to get this fixed and sent back. I was very excited that, okay, finally it's been fixed. So that took a little bit of 2 days, and finally it was shipped and my tracking number was sent. And eventually 2 weeks, it came into Nigeria and another disaster struck. The Nigerian Customs Service held it back that there is a need for a clearance fee to be paid, at this point, I started counting my losses from how much I spent, which was 75,000 naira and some fractions from UPS to China. Then the cost for fixing 236,000 added up is about 3 something. All right, 300 and yeah. Then Customs Service or the Nigerian Customs were demanding 82,000 and some fractions again for the clearance. At this point, I was helpless because yes, it's in Nigeria. You would say that. So just pay the damn money and get your stuff. That's what I did typically. And how much is that? That's 400,000 plus just to get this from Nigeria to China fixed and sent back to me. That's almost the cost of buying a new one. Why I didn't feel this was, I think, practically because I had to pay this money in different stages or in bits. So not that I had this money kept somewhere, but at every stage I had to source the money and pay. So counting my losses, well, all right, we'll get to that. All right, so the gimbal, finally I collected the gimbal, or it was delivered to me, and I was so excited that finally this has been sorted. And the moment of truth came. I powered it on. Of course, it came on, and which I was excited about, but there was no power supplied to the motors. Typically of a gimbal, when you power it on this way, the motors will just go all, but there is absolutely no power coming into the motors, the X, Y, Z axis and all of that, the tilt, pan motor. There is no power coming in at all. That made me very, very upset. All right. So I was just very troubled, and I had to do a lot of physical checks to see what exactly is going on. This has been fixed. Yes, the power is restored. And why is my gimbal not functioning? So in looking around and, trying to investigate what actually is the problem, I realized there is a cable that has been severed. So this cable, I believe, takes power from the, this part of the gimbal and supplies to the motors, which the Y, the X, whatever axis up from this way. So I feel this cable was responsible to supplying the required powering of all of this part of the gimbal. And it is severed, like it's been cut off. Yeah. I was so furious, I had to reach out to the guys at Zhiyun again that, look, I sent him my gimbal for the power or whatever that was wrong with it to be fixed. And I believed it should have been fixed and tested. So why am I having this issue, or what's going on? So they had to, tell me to make a video of whatever was going on, what I've observed. And, so I did a video explaining and also just getting them to walk around on the product I received and sent it to them. And at this point, I just want to pause. So on the comment section, let me know if you have this unit of the Zhiyun Weebill 2. What's your challenges? Did you face this, or have you faced this issue? Did you, or is your power, is it still functional? How long have you used it? And do you have any issues with the power? And yeah, is it still in working condition? Because I have more than 5 of my friends or colleagues that have issues surrounding the gimbal just not coming on. So I'm not here to say it's the battery. I'm not here to say it's the board, but it's not just working. Let me know in the comment section. I would be posting the next video on how my gimbal was fully restored. And I don't mean, this is still the bad version, but trust me, you'd want to see that video. All right. So let me know in the comment section your story or stories with the Weebill 2.